Okay. Okay, so we're recording now. That's so. So basically, background for it is that there's been a relocation. This is a good opportunity to help you align more with to align your job with your passion, right? So that
Correct.
the job, because our jobs, we spend how many hours? Go and charge it where you are. But the thing is, it's a 1%. Go to where you are and go and charge the phone. Go there and charge it. Sorry. So where you are, sorry, you have the opportunity to go pivot at this point to what you really would love to do, because work is like at least about a third of our lives. We spend a good amount of time in at work, so it's best to do work that is working for us, in quotes. And one thing I like to talk about is that work is worship.
Mm.
So
That's
if
powerful.
you're doing if you're doing something that yeah, just like, because for me it was a liberating thing for me to understand that work is worship. Because
Mm.
I think I've even written it a couple of places, that you have the opportunity to meet people at work that you can minister Christ to. Your
Yeah.
work is a way of exhibiting the virtues and the perfections of Him that has called you. So your work should be edifying and should be glorifying God. So I'm glad you shared everything you shared earlier, because I think now I'll do a bit more of the talking. Then when we at some point I'll ask you questions, then you will now answer. Is that okay by you?
That's fine. Thank you.
All right. So I'm thankful that you answered the questions I asked, which was, what will you do if money was not a concern, and what skills do you currently have? So that's supposed to help us get you closer to. We now know what skills you already have, and we know what you should be doing, because what you should be doing is those things that you would do assuming money was not a concern. Many times money clogs our decision making. We because of the money, we do some things that we probably don't enjoy doing just because of the money. But imagine, I think it was a quote or something I read, that the easiest way not to work for the rest of your life is to do what you're passionate about. In that case, it is now no longer work. It is now, you are loving, you are waking up, you're excited to do it, and it's amazing to be paid for things that you're excited about. So based on what you've shared in terms of what you would love to do and what you already have skills for, we identified that you could be a coach, you could be a trainer, and you could be a community leader. So, and what ChatGPT was recommending for you was to focus on areas like personal development, productivity, or leadership. The other part, that technical safety, was because it was me. That's why it was giving that. So I think with you, I don't know if that resonates with you. Personal development, productivity, and leadership. Does it
Yes,
resonate?
yes, they do. They do. Especially in my career journey so far. Yes, they
Yep.
do. Especially the leadership part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had mentioned in our previous discussion, leadership, leading people, guiding them, motivating them, getting them to achieve set goals was the most enjoyable part of the different roles I occupied in the past. So yes, that resonated with me.
All right. And then I think, I don't know if you got the opportunity to do a bit of self-evaluation to see, we already know what your transferable skills are. You have skills in leadership already, as in you have both skills and work experience in leadership,
Mhm.
and you to communicate. I don't know if you've done any form of conflict resolution before now.
Conflict resolution as As part of my job, yes, I have. It's part of what the conflict resolution as part of the bulk of my career, yes. Because my first job required conflict resolution. Yes, so
Yeah.
that's where I have encountered it. But I've not done anything, in sense of getting the skill, honing down on the skill, but it was part of what I did on the job.
So if it's a skill, if it's something you're very interested in, resolution, I think this is me just speaking. I think it's something you probably want to also get certified in, because practically every sector needs people that can help with conflict resolution. So if it's something that you think you could be passionate about, I think it is a passion that people will be willing to pay for.
Okay.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
All right. So honestly, I've never thought of, conflict resolution being a niche. Or to be honest with you, I've always seen it as, just a part of what everybody does, just like sales. I don't think there's any business that doesn't do sales. So
And
so I didn't
yeah,
really think of it as, so it's now that you're opening my eyes to it, and I'll look to it deeper.
I
Yes.
think you can investigate that, because it's like you said, yes, everyone, on the average, everybody needs it, but I don't think many people actually take their time to dig deeper and hone the skills and all of that. And from what I can see, a good number of Africans are not good with conflict resolution. We are either passive, in which case you just let people walk over you, or you are overly aggressive, in which case you are the predator. But I believe it's something that if you look into, there may be something there. But again, I don't want to tell you that this is what you must do, but I think you should look into
Yeah.
it. I think you should really look into the coaching, really, because you do have a lot of experience, practically, in terms of what you can pass across to people and thankfully the industries you've worked in, the skills apply all over the world. So it's not like it's not like it's local to the country of your origin. I believe you can. I would like to know if you agree with me on that. That I think you have good work experience already, but the only issue is that you didn't quite enjoy most of the things you did. Is that correct?
Yes, you're correct. I am good work experience. I did enjoy what I did. Yes, both statements are correct. Yes.
So what we are looking for now is which part of the things you think you actually enjoyed, because I would think that every of your work experience is, if you decided that you wanted to go with career path A, it shouldn't be hard for you to get employment. If you decided to go with career path B, it shouldn't be hard. But the issue now is that you didn't quite enjoy most of the things. So now the most of the work we have to do is to find which ones in particular you really enjoyed, so that you can use that as your starting board, because like we both agreed, you have to start earning ASAP, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
where we are doing is that we are identifying the one that is the short term. For me, the short term is the one that you already have skills in, because that's the one that you can demonstrate and get a
Okay.
well
Mhm.
job. I'm listening.
Yes. So what you're saying, I'm just, wanting to be sure, we're aligned and everything, is that of all of this, yes, there's based on what ChatGPT brought out, there's the leadership, conflict resolution, coaching, trainer part. But again, because there's existing work experience,
Yeah.
and then develop skill sets. What
Mhm.
can one pull out of that quickly in the short term to start earning? But
Exactly. So
that, not
yeah,
just earn, but also enjoy the job too.
So we
So,
want to look at something that you may not enjoy it 100%, but at least maybe
okay.
you may enjoy it like 50%. The ones that you know that, because by the time you're going to apply ETC, you're not going to tell them that, oh, I plan to get a certification in blah, 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 blah. Because if you want to go that route, that means you're going to be starting an internship and all of that, and the pay will not be good, honestly. But what
Okay.
I'm looking at is that for the ones that we want to find you things that you can do in the short term
The
that you
short
still
term.
enjoy a bit. Then you
Mm.
have a mid-term plan for how you transition from the one that you are managing just to get the bills paid, but you still enjoy quite a bit, to the one that maybe you enjoy it like maybe 70%. I'm looking at the coaching as like the long-term
Okay.
long-term
Coaching as
plan.
a long term.
Yes,
Okay.
you are transitioning to the one you really enjoy. But we can now look at maybe, so we said coaching, trainer. So maybe we could make trainer coaching like the mid-term slash long-term one. Community leader, I really think you could get started immediately, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to pay you immediately.
Yes. Okay.
I,
So I don't know if I can speak to that.
yes, please go on.
Okay. So I shouldn't assume and I should find out, but I noticed that here, things that do with community might be require your physical presence, which there's no problem. But the thing is here, there's a distance between where you are and wherever you want to go to, and you have to be able to drive. But then I really, as if, we're on the same page, I really thought of that community thing and said, oh, I think this is something I can quickly do, but I don't think it might pay, but it's something
Uh,
that might give me an opportunity to meet other people, network, and yes, so that was what my mind was when I saw that.
So what I can recommend is that you get that job that will cover the bills, that will not be community leader. And then community leader can start off as a part-time engagement. So maybe you could work for 4 days in a week in whatever role. Let's say you decide to take a customer service role, for example, and assuming you can manage to enjoy it, or you get a job as a trainer in whatever I don't know which organizations you're certified with that have that you can reach out to in the country you're in and see if you could get something with them, because I'm speaking as an engineer. If I found myself in, say, let's say for example, the UK, I'll probably be looking for I'll be looking to the Institution of Chemical Engineers, because I'm a chemical engineer. I'm sure they usually have open positions for something, something, something. I already have the chemical engineering experience. I'm already a member of I've already joined their body, and so I will not, and I'm physically present in the UK. So my first quick win would perhaps be to get a role with the Institution of Chemical Engineers. I know that they would definitely pay me something, and I would probably use that as my springboard. And if I can find positions within the organization that I can move up to, I'll probably keep working on that. But so I'm using myself because I don't want to, I know your particular case, but because we're on air, I don't want to use it. So I would
Yeah.
say I would get that. It will not be the best paying job I could get immediately, but it will
Mm.
probably possibly be the one I will get, because even where I currently am now, I can already apply for those roles because I have my leg in there. I'm already a member of the organization. I'll probably quickly just do a search. What are they looking for? Which one can I manage? I apply for those. I get interviewed. Hopefully, I get that job. So that job I know gives me it keeps some bill, it covers some bills. And then I would then know that, okay, I want to build a community, but a community of what? And when I'm saying community leader, I'm thinking both online and offline, because if
Mm-hmm.
you decide to build a community online, really, you can start your community depending on what you want to talk about. You can
About,
start
okay.
You start the Instagram handle, start the Facebook page, start it, and then you begin to build. So for example, now I started these career discussions with AMA last year, and I started with just telling anybody that wanted to that I can spend 15 minutes with you in a day to talk about your career goals. And people are, the community is growing just from that. So I haven't started
Okay.
charging anything, but I've already started doing something.
Building and
Build,
building the community.
yes.
Okay.
I've got the Instagram handle, I've got the page, I've started YouTube, etc. So I'm starting, but right now I cannot say I will resign my main job to go and start doing this because it cannot cover my bills, but it fuels my passion.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm not going to quit my day job because because I've started this community, but it's a community I'm passionate about. And I'm just giving you this as an example. So let's assume that what you're interested in is in helping maybe people that have been married for 1 to 5 years and they are dealing with a couple of issues that are not weighty, but
Mm-hmm.
they just need someone to listen to them. Let's say, for example, that's
Mm-hmm.
what you want. Then
Mm-hmm.
you already have a platform, you already have your IG, etc. You're just putting it out that, oh, if you fall into this category, blah, 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 blah. 15 minutes, uh, use my Calendly link to book. Actually, that's what led me to this Calendly thing, etc. was that I think back in 2021, I was really trying to make up my mind what I wanted to do, if I wanted to continue on the path I was on, or if I wanted to pivot. And on LinkedIn that day, one of my ex-colleagues, she's a coach, HR. She was in HR when I knew her, but now she's into coaching. And she just dropped her Calendly link and said, if you want to have a clarity call, please use my link. I think for her, hers was 30 minutes free. And for me, she had to do it twice, 15 minutes each, because I wasn't able to dedicate 30 minutes. That's how I knew that I had to do mine for 15 minutes because blocking 30 minutes was hard. And so we had the call. She spoke with me. I told her what I was thinking. She gave me some recommendations on what to do short term, mid term, and long term. And thankfully, because I had 2 sessions, I was able to get the best of that call. And she then told me afterwards that if I want to continue with her, she sent me her rate, sent me to see. I still plan to continue with her just because I don't like to collect free things only. I still plan to have like maybe a session or two with her just for coaching, but I just haven't been able to make the time. But that was and I think my sister is also in HR. So when I spoke with my sister about what my ex-colleague did, she was like, oh, that actually even helps her. That's my ex-colleague in her recertification, that if she's able to demonstrate that she has had those hours of coaching, then she gets credit for that, and then she also gets to market her services because I've seen now I'm still talking about it 3 years later because it made a difference. And all she had to do was just to set up that link, post it on her different social media platforms, and anyone that really needs that call would come. What's coming to my spirit is that when God told Noah to build the ark, he told Noah did not go to look for the animals that came into the ark. God was the
Mm.
one that sent the animals. The animals came by themselves.
Noah
So
builds the ark.
so the important thing is that Noah had to build an ark.
Mm.
And then the only people that Noah spoke with were people, okay, well, he kept preaching to the humans anyway, but we know that they didn't even answer. But the animals that came, he did not preach to any animal. The animals came by themselves. So the people that need to enter into your ark, they will find you.
Mm.
Of course, you need to put information out so that they know where you are, etc. But you don't have to expend all the energies. No shades to people that are dancing on Instagram, but if it's a God-given vision, you don't have to struggle that hard to get people to come. There are people that God had in mind when He told you to start. Just get it, set up the whole thing, make it so that when they come, there is a there's an ecosystem for them. So, and then for me, like just today, I'm talking to you now. There are two people. There's someone I spoke with on Instagram yesterday, where yesterday or 2 days ago, she was saying something. We were talking about something else, and she mentioned career. I invited her, and she said yes, she'll join. I met someone else on Facebook. She put up a post saying something about wanting to take her career seriously. I asked her if she would like to join. She joined, and like that, three people. I've not danced on Instagram. Sorry again, no shades to people that are dancing on Instagram. It's just I don't
Mm.
do this thing. Uh-huh. God understands you are not that kind of person that is going to be self-promoting. He will bring the people that you need to come, but get started. Let's set things up. Let's have the system so that when the people, so it may not pay you immediately. So that's why I won't say that that's what you should start with. But what it does for you is that when you start having these calls, doing these things, they fuel your energy. You get energy to then do your day job, that you find out that even on your day job, you now begin to, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel too stressful because you're looking forward to something that you perhaps do in the afternoon. If you decide that, okay, it's every Saturday that you want to do your calls, it's just every Saturday that you want to call the people and talk to them, you realize that after those calls, you get energy from doing the things that you're passionate about. And that energy will then begin to drive you when you're doing your work. And remember that we have now found you work that is that you have at least some passion for. So you're able to get to work. You get the energy from first of all, from making a difference in people's lives, to the point where you're also at work. You are coming to work with the attitude of that this is another opportunity to make a difference. There's perhaps one more person that can reach here, as opposed to, it's just about the money. And well, I'm speaking from experience. 2021, I felt empty. So when you were saying what you were saying, I think 2 days ago, I was like, I know this feeling that
I
you're
was here
explaining.
in 2021.
I know that feeling. I used to tell myself that I've been working since I deserve a break. In fact, I was like, okay, I think I need to go and school. Let me go to school. Let me not work. I was like, okay, so how am I going to fund school? I actually tried to. I applied for my masters. I was going to go to the UK for masters, but it became very obvious that it wasn't God's will for me to do that. But at this job that I'm on now, I don't feel tired. I feel like I'm doing what I should be doing. And yes, there are some days when I'm feeling like, oh, I'm physically tired. But back in 2021, I would sleep. I would wake up and I'm still tired. So I knew that the
Mm,
tiredness was not a physical one. It was mental and it was from my spirit. I was depleted. One other
mm,
thing that from that 2021, my job did not change. But one thing that began to help me was that one daily one chapter Bible reading. As I
mm.
started that be consistent, I started feeling like I was getting filled up. Then sleep
Yes.
now began to satisfy me. Because before, I would sleep, I would go to the places where I feel like I should have comfort, like, oh, this place, when I lie down here, I will feel the warmth of, in fact, sometimes I'll get to my parents' room. Before, when I was younger, when I sleep in my parents' room, I just feel the enveloping of love. And it did not work. But as I started to do that 1 hour a day, or I think I started with well, I used to be like 30 minutes. I'll read the book, then share my insights on the Bible study page. Then uh, I think there was a time that I've forgotten what we were saying. Then Coach Brenda talked about how she would spend an hour a day to write. And that's how she was able to write so many books. So I was like, me, I cannot do 1 hour, I can do 30 minutes. I started doing my 30 minutes. So after the Bible readings, I'll put 30 minutes in to write the book. I actually finished the book and published it. it took me like 7 years or something before then, or 4 years, I don't know, 4 years. My Adebukola kept chasing me. But when I started doing that 30 minutes, they actually finished the book and I published it. And, and that began to make me want to do more. And I started getting, like, these days when I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't feel empty anymore. I feel like I'm doing what I should be doing. And though it's physically exhausting, there are some days when I feel like, oh, I've done a lot. I'm quite tired. But that tiredness is not the tiredness from inside the soul or the spirit. It's just the tiredness of that, oh, I need to sleep. And by the time I wake up, I feel refreshed. So I understand perfectly. And that's why in my mind, I was like, say no more. I understand what you're saying. When you feel like you've just been working, working, working. And most of the time, that feeling comes when you feel like you need to work to make money. So one of the other things that God did to help me was to show me that it doesn't that He can take care of me even without the work. And He started sending money in ways that did not have anything to do with work. Like some of those testimonies, they sound like lies. Sometimes I'll just be walking on the road and someone will just go like, oh, you do so and so, or can you do so and so. In that same 2021, someone came to me that is in the same field as I am, and he sent me a message during the lockdown when I was working from home, and he was like, oh, you can do ABCD. I said, yes, I can. And he said, oh, there's this organization that needs someone to facilitate some technical workshops. And he said, oh, there are some people that need this. And so I was like, but you also can do it. Why are you calling me? And he said that actually that he offered himself, but they told him that they didn't want him to do it, that they wanted him to get them someone. And he thought of me immediately. Meanwhile, this guy was someone I interviewed. When I interviewed him, he was not qualified for the role that he applied for. So we were supposed to have just trashed his CV and just said, we are not going. But I told them at work that, yes, he may not be qualified for this role, but how about we try him for a lesser role and bring him in? Apparently, that stuck with him because we caught him. He lied on his CV. We caught him. He knew we caught him. I'm sure he wasn't expecting a call back, but we called him back. And then the door that opened in that 2021. I'm still trying, it's still open to date. I still run workshops for this organization. And that was kind of like what sustained us through the COVID period, because at work, they reduced my pay because they said we needed to be working for 3 days because they couldn't afford to pay us for the full 5 days. And it was timely. The money came at the right time. So God began to just let me understand that that job is not the source. The job is just a conduit for me to show, to meet people and make a difference in their lives. So for me, I believe that also changing, and which is why when you said that you don't enjoy, I understand that as well, because it's difficult for you to get passion when you're doing something that you feel like you could have been doing something better with your life. But there's also the part of having a little change in perspective on how we view our jobs. And we see that whether it's something we are passionate about or not, it's an opportunity to meet people. And one other thing that God opened my eyes to see was that Paul may or may not have enjoyed making tents. But in making tents, he met Priscilla and Aquila, and he discipled them. He was in their tent, he met them at work. And he discipled them to the point that even when Paul was not there and Apollos came and he was talking sometimes in the nonsense, Priscilla and Aquila were able to take Apollos aside and disciple him properly. That came from Paul's discipling, which happened from work. So some people are going to, sometimes it's not even about the money. God wants you to be there because there are people he wants you to meet, that you are the one that will change their lives. Well, God is the one that will change everybody's life, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So I've talked a lot, and it's actually time for my next meeting.
All right. Thank you so much. I think you said a lot that has centered around, really drilling down on the community leader and building a community. So I have a lot to use to work with and go and start doing something. So the urgent thing now is to get, a short-term, immediate 9 to 5 and draw energy and strength from the community. I'll be building one step at a time, doing, sharing my time. So yes, at least that's a lot for today and a lot for, you know, moving ahead. So thank you very much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay.
Because typically I will tell people that after this call, this is the last free one, that every other
Mm.
one is for. But yeah, elder cakes, we will do some more. We'll do some
Thank
more
you.
free.
Thank,
All right.
thank you so much.
All
Take
right.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Enjoy the
Stop.
rest of your day.
Thank you.
Talk
I'll
to you
stop
again.
recording.